Welcome, Armchair Generals. Tom here with a brand new series. Episode number 1 of my Soviet Union campaign in Hearts of Iron using the Black Ice version 13.1. It's the most recent version at this point in time. It's available. If you head well, at the time of my video, if you head over to the forums and download and install it. Runs very well. Been playing it in a couple different nations. Also been playing as I do these videos, which you're going to be watching come November. I'm actually doing these back in October. I'm also correspondingly doing a solo Soviet Union campaign myself. Already gone several years, almost up to Barbarossa at this point. Just to kind of get a feel of how the Soviet Union works. The game plays very well. I've not encountered any kind of issues, any shutdowns, any errors, anything of that nature. So it's running very, very well. Of course, I say that and watch this campaign. We'll have all problems all over the place. But anyway, this is my first real attempt at playing the Soviet Union. I've tried a few other times. I don't think I've ever played it under Black Ice. And just the huge scope of the nation, if we can, there we go. The huge scope of the nation overall, what all, we have to deal with is quite vast. And it terrifies me. Which is weird because, honestly, the Soviet Union only has to worry about its own landmass here, which is basically a screen length and a half. Yeah, about screen length and a half total. If you look at it this way, it's about half a screen here, and then if I scroll over to the I in Soviet Union, boom, we get the rest of the map. So it's a huge landmass, but honestly, we're only having to deal with the neighbors all around here. We're not worrying about our nation as far as the Navy goes. We're not going to ever, contend with the naval powers, which at this point in time would be Japan, Britain, France to some extent, Italy, definitely. The United States at some part right now, but eventually it will get rolling and become a great naval power. We're definitely up there with the total amount. In fact, if we take a look at, you can see we've got a ton of ships, right? I mean, there's 100 alone in this stack right here. But if you look closely, it's all submarines. And half of these are, well, maybe not half, probably a good third are the coastal submarines in that stack and regular submarines otherwise. Got 28 here. Oh, look, they're all submarines as well. A couple long range, a couple regular subs, about a quarter or so, about a quarter or a third are coastal subs again. We got 22 up here. Oh, look, more submarines, all regular submarines. Here's where the bulk of our ships lie at this point, and they're up here at Murmansk, which is like way out of the way. Actually, that's the wrong one. Here. Murmansk is where the subs are located. Here in Leningrad is where our most of our ships reside. 2 battleships and a bunch of destroyers, a couple light cruisers as well. More subs up there. We got all those subs there. Got a battleship, a couple heavy cruisers, a couple light cruisers, a couple destroyers for the Black Sea. Motor torpedo boats. We got passenger ships on the East Coast. Tons and tons of all our subs reside here. Some light cruisers and some passenger ships. All total, the Navy's kind of in a state, shall we say. The subs aren't really doing any good because, unless for some reason Japan decides to go off kilter here and decide to attack me, the only people I can really use the subs against will be Finland when I go to war with them. And honestly, they can pull what they need from Sweden and Norway because they're neighbors. And that's really about it. I could put subs to help blockade Germany when that time comes. But honestly, this sub's just going to be kind of useless, I feel, all throughout. Air power is also pretty vast, but everywhere that I've got planes, it's just one or two planes. Mostly I've seen concentrated here on the west, which, yeah, duh. Few on the east. Its military is what definitely causes me to have a little bit of anxiety because it's freaking huge. There's just it's just so much here. This one headquarters alone here, 11 divisions, 3 corps. If we do it like that, it's 27 units alone right there. Coming out of here, Carisi. I'm not totally familiar with the Soviet hierarchy in regards to World War II. That's also one. As far as all the different countries that I've studied, more I love the Pacific more, Pacific War more overall. But when it comes to fighting in the land war, sure, Germany and the Americans when they came in, 35 divisions here that this whole entire area is concerned with. Yeah, this guy here, it's like he's taking care of everything up against the Finnish border and kind of deep into this northwesterly type area. This guy's only concerned with this little pocket here. This guy here handles pretty much the central location, minus Moscow, right? This is Moscow, yep. And he's got 57 units to his name. This is Moscow, and Moscow pretty much handles Moscow area and the area that Leningrad is not really concerned with, and that's another 30 units alone right there. Where's Kiev? So Kiev handles this southern-ish area here, central southern area. They've got 48 units alone there, which is a bit odd because you got the guy above. He's got 57. He's got more. I guess he's got more area to control than he does here, Kiev. At Kharkov, handles the rest of this area here. In the south, 52. So that's almost 100 units alone in this area here. And then we look at, I'm not sure what this peninsula, this is called something, but I forget exactly what it's called. But anyway, the Urals, the Ural Mountains are around here, I believe. 66 units that they're concerned with in this area, but also out in the hinterlands, nestled up against Afghanistan, India, and all the way out to here as well, more of the central Russian. And lastly, but not least, you got this guy. It's handling everything, basically the latter third, almost this half of the Soviet Union here. Yeah, pretty much this half of the Soviet Union. And what do we got? Almost 100 units total that to handle such a huge area. But again, it gives me some anxiety because it's like all this stuff. I'm going to leave the way it's set up, and as the game progresses, I will allow the game to set up units historically and otherwise. I'll still build my own and stuff like that, but I'll let historical measures go through that would normally do so. In fact, on that note, this type of campaign, what I'm looking at doing here, is playing some might say a very rote Soviet Union, where we're just going to simply sit where we are, not do anything. We're not going to conquer anybody else. We're not going to try to take Afghanistan, or Iran, or Turkey, or anything like that. We're just going to sit, do what what was done during the real historical 1936 onward to 1941. And when we come across the time where we'll need to do the Winter War in Finland, we'll go ahead and we'll do that. We'll take what we asked for, wanted. We're not going to try to take all of Finland. We'll go ahead and declare take the Baltic states, take eastern Poland, take Bessarabia, do all that kind of stuff that we normally do. And then when 1941 comes around and Germany says, surprise, Surprise that mother effer. We will slowly retreat our way back, trying to hold them off as much as possible, trying to hold out until that magical time period when the United States says we're coming in to save the day. So to accomplish that type of overall might be staid and kind of boring, but for me, I think it will do better than me trying to. I'll do better at doing all that than trying to, force my hand on Turkey, for example. Try to get Turkey and Iran or Afghanistan under my belt here. I have a feeling that if I try to go do too much, things will just go tits up, and I play a Soviet Union here, and Germany will have an easy time of it going into me. So, to wit, any historical events that pop up, we'll go ahead and take those. We will. I'll play this as if Stalin were certainly in charge. You'll see that while I could be not gaming it, but I could be playing a little bit better in some areas. I will be playing in such a way that the leadership, for started, the officer ratio, you're going to see that go down to the 60s and maybe even the 50s. It'll be sitting in the yellow like pretty much all game until we get into the 42, 43, probably the early 40s, but at least a year or two after Barbarossa occurs. We're not going to terribly try to, build up hundreds and hundreds of rifle divisions galore and tank divisions galore and stack them all on the Western Front or whatever. I'll build them over time. Sure, we'll take the historical units, they show up, and I will build units over time. But we're not going to do anything that will be like, this didn't really happen, so therefore, I will be allowing history to kind of still take place. By 1940, we'll probably have like 7,500 manpower or something like that still, because I'm not going to be building a ton. We will be building air power, make sure our planes are staffing up, because you saw. Our air units are anywhere from 1 to 3 in size and strength. For the most part, on average, looks like they're around 2 in strength. So I want to build all them up to their normal strength, what I consider normal. And for me, for those who have watched me play my Japanese campaign, German campaign that halted arbitrarily before Barbarossa, which was large part because I was waiting for the 13.x patch to come out, update to come out. I like my air units to be in groups of 4, so we'll staff those up and make sure that they're fully up there. Also, while I was pointing out that there's not a lot of, not much in the way of naval power, I think there's 3 battleships total, and 2 heavy cruisers total. A bunch of light cruisers, probably like half a dozen light cruisers, and tons of subs. I'm going to look at expanding the Navy, the Soviet Navy, a bit more. I'm going with the thinking that the wounds of 1919, 1918, the war with Japan, are still a little bit fresh in our minds, and we're going to look at building up our naval power and staffing it on the east coast there. Build up battleships, build up heavy and light cruisers, lots of destroyers. Just try to build up our Navy in the east a little bit more. We're also going to build up our Navy in the Black Sea here a little bit more. Well, we got 6 more torpedo boats. I was going to say, probably builds like more torpedo boats and things like that, but I don't know. We're probably okay with what we got here. That's a decent setup there. Maybe Leningrad, we might look at putting in a few more battleships, heavy cruisers in here, break up maybe some light cruisers too, break up these destroyers, drop off like half of these and put them in the new group I'm going to create, or 2. Might build a Yeah, I might staff this up a little bit with a few more destroyers, some heavy cruisers, and just basically just try to make a little bit of a stronger navy overall. Archangel may also want to consider putting in a small fleet of some sort, some light cruisers, destroyers there maybe. And as far as our military goes, I know we got this, I feel we got this pretty well set up here. We got this guy here, this guy here in the Leningrad area, this guy here in the central area, Moscow, Kiev in the south, Kharkov in the south, whatever. What is this anyway? Astrahan? Okay, yeah, that's a pretty important hub. And then east. I don't think we're going to do anything any more special in regards to our military breakout, though I do think I might set up a little bit more of a centralized headquarters here. That's just going to handle NKVD defenses, pull some of these units off, and add it to him. Going to build up this, because we're going to take away some of what's over here anyway. Build this up a bit more for any potential Japanese threat. Build this up a bit more because I think we're kind of 66, and that's they're spread around all over. We need to build this up a little bit more for any kind of Turkish threat, quote unquote. I do like the idea of two southern, two central headquarters, one Leningrad, and then one far northern. I do like that setup here, 2, 2, 1, and 1. So I don't think we're going to change that at all any. But we're certainly going to build more military. It's going to be building lots more. I say lots more. First 3 years, not building too much in regards to military, but we're still going to be building something to help prosecute our war aims. What else going on? Well, let's actually take these. Let's take this step by step here. First off, Soviet Union, huge. I'm glad that the army hierarchy is broken up the way that it is here. I'm going to kind of do the same eventually with air power. I don't think any of these guys, well, I guess they are attached ultimately to the military, which is fine. At the stage I'm at right now, I haven't received any, like Germany does with Luftwaffe headquarter units. I haven't received anything of that stature with the Soviet Union, so I think I'm just going to go with that route. I'm kind of thinking for the better part of this game, which is from 36 to 39, for the Soviet Union, there's really nothing going on until the war with Poland, where with German help, a good third of Poland here will be carved off and given to the Soviet Union. And then Winter War, the winter of 39-40, that'll occur. We're going to get a good portion of Finland here. They're going to get kind of small. So we'll definitely need more troops to handle all that. And then later in 1940, mid-1940, summer 1940, Baltic states will be absorbed by us. And Bessarabia, I think, that's either later 1940 or early 1941. So we'll be needing, with all this extra land, we'll be needing more troops to handle all that, plus what we got. So the fact that I will focus mostly on the military, on the army, will mean that a lot of our leadership will be freed up in that regards. We won't really be worrying about naval tech at all. Air tech will be kind of weak at first, but once we hit into wartime, we're definitely going to have to ramp that up big time and start getting better planes so we can match with what Germany has. But starting here, let's get this rolling here on this side. Diplomacy-wise, we're not going to be doing anything in regards to influencing anybody or anything. That's was kind of playing around with that in my solo campaign, where I was influencing Turkey and I think Afghanistan I was influencing as well, trying to sway them to my side. But I think in this case here, I'm not going to worry about that. I'm not going to be massively interfering in those minor countries. When time comes and the Spanish Civil War happens, then I will spend some diplomacy to influence the Spanish Republic, because they're who we closely align with. And I'm trying to think if there's somewhere else we might look at influencing. Probably not. I mean, I can look at influencing China and all these countries here, but let them do their own thing. So, looking at diplomacy, not really going to do much of anything until the Spanish Civil War, and then we're gonna try to sway the Spanish Republic. I see where the heck they even land in at here. There they are. We're mainly drifting the Allies. We'll fix that. We'll fix that once the war happens. All right, let's go ahead and start these events up here. Get them going. Black Ice. We're going to go with. I started my solo campaign on normal, but I think for this one we want to make it a little bit more difficult. I think we either do it hard. Yeah, I think I'll do it at hard, and that will certainly make it more not even. Well, yeah, I guess more of an even lineup against the Axis powers. And if you note the effects in my playthrough, what I'm finding is by January 1940, I'm at war with Finland. I have well over 1,500. I think it was almost maybe it's closer to 1,300. I'm trying to remember, but it's between 1,300 to 1,500 IC. So that 10% hit to IC, yeah, that'll drag it down to about 1,200, maybe thereabouts, 12 to 1,350, something like that. So that will certainly kind of negate me a little bit there from being able to build a lot of stuff. The national revolt risks certainly were hurt, though you'll see I'll have plans to deal with that there. National manpower modifier, not a huge deal. Like I said, by 1940 I had over 7,500 manpower. Hadn't even, I hadn't really built much. I think I had built 20 units by the time the Finland War happened, and I had another 30 or 40 divisions, I should say, sitting in my queue being built on that would have been finished before for Barbarossa happened. Well before Barbarossa happened, and I was building a bunch of naval ships, battleships, destroyers, cruisers, etc. Air power, building a bunch of air power as well. Which, granted, Air Navy don't really use a lot of manpower. You could build 100 fighters, and it will cost less manpower to do that than it does, say, building a motorized or mechanized division even. But anyway, supplies will be hurt a bit, money will be hurt, but that's not going to be a big deal because we'll be raking money in left and right. They'll get to the point where, because I can't really spend money on much of anything other than whatever events pop through for me. I'll almost be maxed out in money by the time the Finnish war wraps up. Leadership modifier is going to hurt for sure. Same with the research efficiency. IC efficiency is also going to hurt too, because I think I was already at -3 to -5, somewhere around that range, because of all the different things I was being impacted by. Naval base efficiency we won't really care about because we're just not really going anywhere. So it's going to be a land-based campaign here. The officer recruitment is going to be huge, as well as that losing 5,000 officers, and you're going to see I will lose more officers before the Finnish before the Finnish war starts than I will lose in manpower between the start and end of hostilities in Poland and Finland combined. It is sick. Totally sick how much officers we lose. At this point, you can see we have 158,000 officers. Bear in mind what I just said here at the very beginning. For the Polish and Finnish wars combined, I will lose more manpower, more men, to be more precise, not this manpower number, but more men. You get done with a battle and says, well, here's the result. You lost this much. I'm going to lose more men in those two wars combined than I will lose, or I will lose less in those two wars combined than I will lose in officers between the start of the game and the end of the Finnish War, the Winter War. Yeah, totally sick there. Anyway, and the resources, that's not going to be a big deal. Before the Winter War, I think I was sitting maxed out with my resources, with the exception of fuel and oil. Those were kind of fluctuating the way they always do. But they were fluctuating quite a bit, and two, I was selling a lot of my resources. So the fuel and oil specifically, when I was selling those, it was bringing me down from, whatever my maximums were. But anyway, yeah, I think the hard setting would be just fine for me. Very hard, I don't know. I think that might actually be even worse to deal with. Though I think I might be... On the hard, it's going to be difficult, yes, but I think I'll be okay. If I feel like I'll be okay. Very hard, I feel, I don't know. As Soviet Union, that might hurt me a little bit too much. And of course, grow fast. No, there's no way. I'm not that insane. So let's stick with hard for myself. The Chinese. So we're going to put the Axis powers to very hard. The Chinese, the thinking is, since the one big overhaul to the difficulty, AI difficulty, which I think was in version 12, or maybe it was version 11, I disremember. The thinking is, if you want Japan to be able to do, an AI Japan, to do okay, and be able to provide enough of a threat to the United States, AI, United States at the very least, or you, if you're playing as the United States, there needs to be at least two, the difficulty level needs to be, for China, needs to be 2 less than whatever the Japanese is. So since we're going to go with very hard Japan, then I'm going to go with normal China, because you can see there's some good benefits. It gets a little bit worse, still good benefits. Is it the very easy? Yeah, very easy. It's just a base. Not much changes over to the easy. So let's go normal China. Japan, we're going very hard. Italy, we're going very hard. Germany, we're going very hard. So with the Allies, this is US, UK, and all of, and all of the eventual UK minors that go with it, or major powers. Well, look at Australia, New Zealand, and such. So I'll touch upon this in just a moment. So with the Allies, I think if I'm going hard myself, do I go normal with the Allies, kind of make them a bit of a pushover, or just drop them like one level below the Axis? Probably. Yeah, probably do hard Allies. For whatever reason, we're playing the Soviet Union, right? For whatever reason, this pops up again for the Soviet Union. I don't understand it. And I don't know, as far as I'm aware, whatever I choose here should not impact what I've already chosen. But I have a concern. Well, no, this is the AI. This is the Soviet AI. There is no Soviet AI, so none of this will be affected. So let's just do very easy. Boom. Now, with the minors, I always do easy on Allied and easy on the Axis. I don't think I've ever noticed it before, but I'm seeing now that this is what's considered the AI allied miners, which consist of Belgium, Netherlands, 2 of the 3 countries in Benelux area, South Africa, which eventually becomes a British, UK, I should say, protectorate or something like that, I suppose. Maybe, I take it back. I think they're on their own. Mexico, of course, Greece as well. So if you're playing as an Axis power, it seems moot to me to even try to get Greece to go on your side there. But I always choose easy for these particular allies here. For the AI miners, which is everybody else other than what you saw on the Allied and Axis miner pen, I always choose very easy. So that way, when Germany and Japan goes against them, it'll be pretty much a walk in the park. And as you see, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania are there. Walk in the park for me as well. I won't have to be fighting too hard against, if they decide to fight against me. But in any event, yeah, very easy there. Say okay, okay. Axis miners, Manchuria for Japan, Romania, Hungary, Bulgaria, Finland for Germany, National Spain, it's kind of odd they're considered an Axis miner, but okay. Croatia, Slovakia, when those are created by Germany as well, those get easy. Let's go in production real quick here. Let's get our reinforcements down to a sizable amount here. Upgrades, I don't think we're going to... Supplies, we kind of need that up to where it is right now. Okay. Yeah, that looks good. Technology. So, again, we're not doing anything with diplomacy. Gonna leave this alone until we finally do. Espionage. Yes, we're gonna be doing some spying and stuff like that. Let's drop this down to about 1.5 for right now. Probably don't need it quite so high. And let's get some of our tech in here. Soviet Union. Might break it down in top priority, second, third, fourth, fifth type priorities. Nation, top priority all the time. Second priority, land forces and the land doctrine, which is deep battle. And operating and the chain of command. I've been doing the strength here, but part of me is also like, I have to research it a bit more and find, or maybe somebody knows, for the Soviet Union, which is more realistic for them. What were they like really in World War II? The strength increase or the strength decrease, wherein not as much manpower is put. For Soviet Union, I can't imagine you even needing to do that. This section is more for the minor powers who don't have a lot of manpower to their name. You can maybe even throw, excuse me, you can maybe even throw like Italy in there, Spain, Turkey, larger countries than what is considered the minor powers. That just don't have that much manpower compared to the major powers: Germany, France, UK, United States, Soviet Union. I notice I put Italy in the, they may want to look at minimize or decreasing their strength, because you probably want to be looking at building enough units to be able to handle the empire that you're looking at getting, and two, you may also be not having enough manpower to build the units that you want. Soviet Union, I feel, doesn't really have that problem. We have a large empire, sure. I mean, large country, sure, to control, but I mean, it doesn't matter if manpower required to build, an armored division is 3 times that what it is, what Italy, say, picks or something like that. It doesn't really matter to me. But anyway, nation first, land forces, along with doctrine, operating, chain of command. Third, air force, air doctrine. And then lastly, naval forces, naval doctrine, along with that. So, starting with our nation, let's get all our 36 stuff that improves our IC. We definitely want our IC and leadership and manpower. Supply improvements, medicine, because yeah, We do want to make sure that our men just don't die needlessly, so they will be dying for the motherland. Increase our supplies all around. We're not going to worry about heavy forging because that's strictly for our naval, which we're not really worrying about naval at this point in time. Radio detection equipment and radios, sure. We need to lower our attack delay. Secret, we're not going to really touch this whatsoever. There's no need. Maybe down the road we might go for nuclear fission theory. If we play this through to, like, say, 1945 or thereabouts, 1944, whenever the Soviets started really doing it on their own, I might do it as well, just to kind of match pace, but we don't need to worry about that right now. Construction, need to make sure IC, we get improvements there. Seaports, airports, we really don't need the seaport per se, but as an aside, it does help boost when you go up a level, which isn't reflected here. Seaport does improve the amount of money you get. Airport, we just need that. Just need it. We're going to go ahead and do that because we want to build fortresses. Yes, fortresses will be built by the Soviets. Okay, so we're done with nation. Now let's go to land forces. Yeah, we're woefully inadequate in a few areas here. We're pretty much going for all of these here. We're not going to worry about the garrison deployment because we're not moving our garrison overseas or anything like that. That I do for those countries that I need to move my garrisons overseas. Japan, big one. Those who watch my Japanese campaign, yep, I had to choose it because of that, because I was moving garrisons all over the place, all the different islands. Jungle garrisons as well when we got those. United States, I could certainly see doing that because as we take islands back, or as we look to defend islands, we want to move garrisons into them. UK, a huge overseas empire. Italy, to some extent, yeah, but it's not desperately needed. Yeah, that's about it. Let's get our defensive positions. Body armor, we're going to do as well. Camouflage design, improve security units. Truck and prime mover, we're going to bump this up. And then we're going to do infantry guns, infantry support weapons. Going to bump this up. Let's go to artillery. Nothing here just yet, other than we're going to go with those. Heavy AA guns. Let's bump that up as well. Special forces real quick. Nothing here for right now. Anti-tank. That's a yes when we're able to do so. Armor. Armor 2. Let's get these done as well. Boom. So we'll set to 35 here. And I think that is it in regards to how much leadership we're going to spend. We're gaining 70 officers a day, right? Yeah, a day. Let's go to deep battle. We got a bunch of stuff here. First and second echelon, work on everything that's in each embedded here. Cavalry exploitation, political indoctrination, yes. We're going to do superior strength, great battle, rolling artillery barrage, great war analysis, because we fought in the Great War. We will take this once we're able to do so for that extra defense. Not going to take anything at Blitzkrieg because we can't. Operating will work in everything here as well. The special forces, because including special forces is mountain units, and yes, the Soviets had a ton of mountain divisions. Yeah, let's get our strength increases in each of these as well. Chain of command, get all these as well. So you're always up to 73, 74. So we're only applying about half of our. Let's actually up this to 45, which I think I did in my solo one anyway. There we go. So we're only really putting 15 officers per day. And you will see as time goes on, you'll be like, wow, Tom, things are poor there, huh? Head of state. So Stalin is going to take command of one thing that I decided in my soul is that Stalin can take control of everything. Um, I think for this right now, we're just going to leave everything where it's at this point. I'm not going to touch anything where I can make things better or anything of that. We're going to leave it all the way it is. Some exceptions, though. Military service, we're not seeing that we need to go into the military or anything. We're just doing a 6-month draft, where we're saying that everybody gets drafted. Basic mobilization, we'll leave this alone as well, though if we can go to full mobilization, we will do so. Massive education, we're going to go down to the minimal education investment. Stalin wants his soldiers to be stupid, not terribly handy. We're doing heavy industry emphasis, which I know hurts us in regards to the consumer goods needed during peacetime, but that's okay. Propaganda press, we're leaving that alone. Basic training, we're going to leave that alone as well. Massive conscription, we're dropping this down to a normal conscription. Again, we're not at war right now. We don't need to, we're not in a period of time, or we didn't even come out of a period of time in the last decade or so that the Russian military needed tons and tons of people coming in. So we'll leave it at this point for right now here. All right, so we got those laws. Let's go to intelligence here. So we want our own spy priority. We want to counter espionage. We want to support. We don't need to worry about raising national unity, though we're going to put at least 1 point into it. Total spies. So Axis powers. Yes. Spy priority. Yes. Some, yes. We want total military espionage. We want to find out some of their tech, and that's it. Allies. We don't trust our allies, so we want... This is how we're going to do this here. It's probably pretty kind of low, but we want to find out what the heck you guys are building, because we don't trust any of you. We're not worried about any of the other stuff here, though Iraq, we're bordered with Iraq, right? No, we're not. Iran. Not worried about Nepal or those others. Comintern, we're not worried about there either. So let's take a look at Europe here. Sorted by name. Bulgaria, we do want some, again, some spies. We want, find out what you guys are building, because you border my sea. It's my water, body of water there. Not concerned about Czechoslovakia, Estonia as well, where we're on your border. Finland, a little bit higher spy priority there. Greece, Hungary, we're not bordering them now. However, they were amongst the losers of World War I. They did Austria-Hungary, the Austrian-Hungarian Empire was what kicked off World War I. So yeah, we don't trust them at all. Latvia, same thing. Lithuania, same thing here. Let us know what you're doing. Not really concerned with Norway. Poland, a little bit of, we're kind of concerned with what you guys are doing. Romania, actually a little bit concerned with Romania as well, because we have a pretty long border with them. And I think that is it. Now, Asia, I don't think we're terribly concerned with anything in Asia at this point. Maybe Iran? We just want to find out what Iran is doing to make sure they're not doing anything against us. Not concerned with any of this other. Though Manchuria, there's been a little something with them. Japan, we're definitely kind of worried about them, and we want to get some of your tech. We want to find out what's going on there. What you guys got? The Republic of China, we don't like a republic being so close to us, so we're gonna keep an eye on you there. And I think that's it there. Africa, we're not concerned about. North America, we're we want to find out what you guys are doing. South America, Oceania, not worried about any of those others. Okay, so that is where all our spies are going. So if you look at all, and look at our priority, yeah, almost a whole entire page here. Now, I'll grant you, come summer 1940, 3 of these, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, they're going to fall off. In 1939, Poland's going to fall off, and spring 1940, Finland's going to fall off. Well, no, Finland's going to stay on, because Finland, yeah, well, we still got to keep a cautious eye on them after all said and done. Anyway, so that's what's looking at there. And is there anybody else that's, no? All right. So that's their theater. So there's a couple theaters here. 2 theaters. We got this one. Oh, we got more than 2 theaters. Holy cow. So we got this one. I got this one. We got this one, which, yes, that corresponds. We should have 7, 2, 4, 6, 8 theaters. 8 theaters total. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 theaters. You know, looking at the units as I did, I should have just come here, and this definitely would have made it more explanatory right off the bat. Because we would have seen that, yes, this one theater pretty much is just half of the Soviet Union alone. Then you got this theater, which handles the more northern extreme, Siberia and all that. You got this centralized theater. It's about a third of the Soviet Union. And then the rest, the front, if you will, to Europe itself, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 theaters alone there. Yeah. All right, makes sense. Let us get back to diplomacy here. We're going to go ahead and tick through all these at this point. So annual espionage, focus, economic boost, military academy, railway, road, light and truck transport activations, and that's all we're going to do for right now. Military trucks we activate, military light vehicles we activate. We're going to do the long-term investment because for the first couple of years, we're looking at hopefully getting these different projects. We want to start with the railway tycoon, then work our way to national highways, and if we're able to get them, farm mechanization and mining would be good ones to get as well for us. So we'll say long-term investment. In fact, if you take a look at the strategic effects here, we can scroll down. National highways, you can see here, supply throughput improvement, IC efficiency, organization regain rate, big ones for us to certainly get. Railroad tycoon gives us 2% more IC efficiency, so combined with these two is 3% IC efficiency. Supply throughput of 10% plus 5, 15%. So yeah, these two are good to get. Agricultural industry, you might go, Tom, why do you need more manpower if you're a Soviet Union and you're talking about mid-1940, you still had over 7,500 manpower. Well, a year from mid-1940 will be Barbarossa. And at that point, my manpower losses are going to be, I presume, and are predicting, are going to be extreme. I'll probably drop from that 7,500 manpower to probably closer to 2,500 once that year, 1941, is all said and done, just from the losses sustained with Germany and the fact that I'll be forced to build up a lot of I'll be getting events, I'll be building up my military that will be using manpower. Also, though, I will be needing to build up my military as much as possible. Mining will be helpful as well. That manpower modifier will kind of balance out. Still have a bit of improvement there. That IC loss, though, will kind of hurt overall, but we'll hope to kind of fend that off. Oh, you know what I said? Agriculture is it? I think it's the collectivization of farms. No, actually, I take it back. I think it's agricultural. I think you get your choice of one of these three for the long term. It's either the giant infrastructure, which gives the manpower. This one for the agriculture industry, collectivization of farms, or automotive industry. Yeah, I think those are you get one of those three or something like that. Though it does show I already have this already. So I already have collectivization of farms. Okay. We have one of two. We need automotive industry. All right. But anyway, that's why I'm taking the long term. I can boost through all those. So for right now, I think economic spying is probably the only thing we really need to be working on. If we wanted to, we could each year be boosting this, but from what I saw, and I'm thinking it's largely due to the historical events that pop in. Plus, if you notice, I think there is a little bit of a change. Sure, we got a backstabber in charge, but we do have the propaganda press, so that's a plus 5%. Our monthly change is 0.16, 0.19, 0.49, 0.39. So our monthly change is 0.39. Each month will be going up 0.39. It does get modified by 5% because of the backstabbing and propaganda press. So that's plus 4, essentially, plus 4.1 or something like that. So each month our national unity is going to go up by plus 4. So over the course of 36, 37, and 36 years there, that's 14 points, almost 15 points of national unity that I'm going to go up by. So we'll be at 90 anyway. Nothing changing aside from there. But I think there's a bunch of events that occur that will both lower and increase my national unity anyway. So we don't need to worry about increasing our national unity. We're not going against any of our neighbors, and our neutrality, I think, pretty much goes improves in our way by 1939, thanks to the Polish War as well. So we don't worry about that. Don't need to worry about reducing our threat levels. We don't really care how threatening we seem. Spy catching, sure, that might be something to do. Army, Air Force, Naval Intelligence, we're not going to do at this point. We'll worry about that once 1941 or 1942 hits, I should say. Political spying, we could look at this if we really, really wanted to help improve our ruling party support, but I think we're okay on that. So economic spying, I think, is probably the best out of all these. Spy catching kind of pulls me that way, but I don't really care if people steal my stuff. Whatever. So yeah, economic spying. I don't think there's any changes that occurred because of that. Let's hit the consumer good button and do that. Yeah. There. Nothing changes on tech level, so that's fine. And of course, nothing will change in politics. Go back to diplomacy here. Choose puppet. I'll go ahead and get them done. Mixed brigade, start. Send help to Abyssinia. Bank for international settlements. And leader backstory. This is the specific leader that we can choose here. Do have to be careful. You can choose a leader that will. This is your hero unit, if you will. You can choose someone that actually will improve your infrastructure, your industry, but they will become kind of useless. The hero will have like such a huge negative modifier to movement that you won't be able to do anything with them. They'll come with some some regiments that you can pull off and assign to other troops, but let's go ahead and start them off here. So we're going with someone. So at this point, 1936, let's say we're in our early 30s. We're young. we lived through World War One, where we were a teenager. Building that backstory in my mind here, we lived through World War One as a teenager. We saw the Russian Revolution, where you had the whites versus the reds, and the reds, of course, came out on top. And obviously, we supported that, or at least, at the very least, didn't actively support the white side. We were, maybe neutral or pushing. Yeah, probably. Yeah, we probably had to say we were supporting the Reds, because otherwise, how do we get into a leadership position of any sort in this climate? So our parents, therefore, would have to be somebody to kind of instill that. So we could say that she was a pioneering scientist and get some research efficiency. Yeah, let's go ahead and say she was a pioneering scientist in her chosen field. Then our father, on the other hand, well, not the other hand, but our father as well, he fought during the Great War. He was a soldier through and through. He helped fight against the Germans when they invaded, or Austrian-Hungarian Empire when they invaded, and the Germans and kept them out. So yeah, he was a soldier through and through. Now, when I was a kid, like I said, I was a teenager during World War One, but as a kid, prior to World War One, sure, the country was de facto ruled by a monarchy. How would that work? Maybe I would read as many books as possible, or would be somebody that we'd like to build stuff. Yeah, I think somebody that I like to build stuff. That's probably who it was. Childhood hero, again, before World War One. Probably a famous industrialist. I like to build stuff, and I was always impressed people that like the Carnegies in America, and those ilk that helped build the country. So yeah, famous industrialist there. It gets more icy. So as a young adult, this is during World War One, I became a soldier in the army. I followed suit with my dad there. Radical militant crowd. That doesn't sound like what I would end up being shot. So I became a soldier. All right, we're going to go for the first year. We're going to go with the science investment to improve my leadership modifier, because we have a bit of we got research efficiency, but I think we're getting a downturn otherwise. So yeah, let's do science. Abyssinia, we're going to be sending troops because we want our people to get some experience. This is Mongolia. We're going to tell you to build your army. All right, actually, let's advance this a little bit. Now, one thing I need to do real quick. I need to get I'm in the utility, which you can't see. In fact, the screen may be kind of dark right now for you, and I apologize. But I'm getting the utility set up at this point in time here to the Soviet Union there. And we've set the player. Okay. Now, here, we want to save the game. Start fresh. Boom. There we go. Let's go back to diplomacy. Choose puppets again. Armored and motorized support choices. Mixed support choices. And New Day is Dawning is my hero. We'll take a look at them and see what's what there. Mixed support. Okay. So we want artillery upgrade. We are also going to want an infantry tank upgrade. So artillery, infantry tank. We have a lot of rivers, as you can see. So we want amphibious armor upgrade. And lastly, we're going to need some help crossing the rivers as well, so let's get our engineer upgrade going. Cool, done. Motorized support. So we're starting to see about, what trucks, vehicles can do for our army. We have vast tracts of land to cross. We can't have our troops just walking around like they did in World War I, or they walked, to the front lines. We need to actually get them up there quicker. Granted, rolling stock trains will get the bulk of them up there with their equipment, but we still need a way from the trains to the front lines, or specific areas where we need them at. So recon, because we want to make sure that we're not moving into an ambush. Also artillery. So artillery, engineer, recon. Let's do engineers. And last but not least, we're going to do light armor upgrade. Some fast armor that can go along with our troops and get us to where we need to be quickly and efficiently. Armor and support. This is just straight out. Oh, let's do this puppet real quick. Tuvan. Let's just do army. Boom. Armor and support. Let's start. Artillery. Choose an artillery. Yeah, if we can get 1,000,000 guns, that'll work very well. Medium armor upgrade. Yep, we need something to be rather heavy. Recon. Again, how do we get into the battle? And if we're in a battle, how are we going to get out? And then lastly, engineers. So you can see what we're kind of concentrating on there. Alrighty. Let's let things kind of progress a little bit here. All right, our focus. So our first month of the focus here. Oh, wow. Okay, I guess some stuff had kind of popped in with it. Not really realizing it. So some leaders have died. All right. Sure, but reserve. Sure, we're going to abide by the naval treaty. We want personality effects. Again, Stalin's fully in charge. Just like my German campaign, I laughed when Hitler said stuff. Scripted invasions, okay. So our focus, we are sticking this first year on natural resources. We're going to go up to the 360-day tier. And then some point in 1937, we're going to switch over to economy, general economy, and it's going to ride on that all the way until Barbarossa, at which point then we'll switch to ground forces. But for right now, natural resources. Engine type. So we're going with heavy aircraft. Diesel. Heavy aircraft. Diesel, and is it welded or cast? Looks like it's cast. Yeah, welding's behind the times. Heavy, diesel, cast. Right. Heavy, diesel, cast. Ship armor focus. So we're going with the cemented steel. Cemented armor. And closed hangers. Cemented armor, closed hangers. This is why money's going to be no problem for us, because we have a bunch of gold mines. Every 2 months, money rolls in. So, yeah, we're okay. We're going to close, right? Yeah. All right. Yes, so we do have the collectivization of farms already, which you can see specifics that happened here, the national manpower modifier, but I think we're okay at that. Monthly gains 36 alone. Yeah. We have high popularity, road rail network. IC efficiency is -6. That's fine. Pop them to here. We're going to go strategic resource per postpone. We're never going to be needing this, by the way. Oh, you look here. There we go. And let's look at, there we go, doing that. This we can actually, since we have 67,000 supplies, I can drop this down. So my thinking is 50,000 supplies for major powers is a good number to arrive at, to get to. More is better. But if you're getting to a point where you're maxed out and still gaining supplies, or close to being maxed out supplies and still gaining supplies, yeah, you're putting too much IC towards supplies. To need to address that. So to arrive at the number of 50,000 and, you know, get to it, I should say, if I'm below 50,000 supplies, then every 10,000 I am below, I'm going to increase the needed supply by 10. So if I was at 47,000 supplies, right now I just need 103, it says, to maintain. I would actually put another 10 in here and be 113. For every 10,000 above in supplies I am, so in this case 67,000, that's 10,000 above, then I drop this by 5 IC. So we're going to drop this down to 98. It's just through play, I've come to that. It's not like, you know, that's the hard set math that's in the game or anything like that. It's just what I arrived at playing this so many times. I've just found that if you need to get supplies up pretty quickly, whatever you're, you know, how far, if you're down really low on supplies, boost your IC put towards supplies as much as possible. If you have a bunch of supplies already, then you can lower whatever it's saying that you need to get. So that's where we're going to be for right now. So, strategic reserve, we don't know yet what we need here, because right now the utility window is telling me I have negative 1,000 in everything. However, here we are going to go ahead and start off. Well, yeah, money. We'll go ahead and just do it. We're going to go ahead and go with the Railroad Tycoon right away. Boom. Station every village. Now, you see, we just dropped down to 42,000. So I spent all that time where I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do this. So now we're 10,000 below what we want to be. So I need to go up to 113. Probably I should have waited before doing this, but whatever. Yeah. Which means the kind of a moot point. The mine investment goes away for right now, but we'll see this go up quite rapidly. Anyway, let's let this go. Kick it off. Start of a new campaign. Creation of battle commanders. Yes, we're going to go ahead and allow that. Yes, we want revolts, and we're gonna deal with that. Yes, we need experienced Red Army divisions. Same as I did with Germany, who has the SS. Soviet Union has Guard. So what I like to do is every time this event comes up, pick the first one first, and then the next time this comes up, pick the next one, and then just bounce back and forth between the two. So we're going to start with Red Army first, and then next we'll go with the Guard divisions after that. So we're at -4. Red Army historical formations and upgrades. We can read the specifics here, but yes, we're going to be doing this. You can see we get Guards formations after September 1941. That's well after Barbarossa. But yeah, this will give us historical, a historical order of battle. Definitely lower costs than IC and resources. And it'll appear in the utility window under IC days. It'll say, okay, here's how much IC days, or how much IC debt that you have to pay back Now, the IC debt gets repaid back at a rate of, at default, a rate of 20% of what your total, let's look this, yeah, I was at the right screen, of your total industrial base, your IC base. So our base is at 226, so 10% of that, or 20% of that, would be 45. Let me check the utility window. Yes, it is 45. What I have found, though, is you get, just like Germany and the United States, you get, as pretty much all the countries that have their own order of battle, black ice order of battle coming in. And I don't know if the team is looking at other countries and doing historical orders of battle for other countries as well. It would be cool. I haven't really played. Well, I know I haven't played all of the countries that are available. But it'd be cool to see like Spain, Turkey. Trying to think of some of the other major-ish powers. I haven't played France ever, so I don't know if they have a historical order of battle that gets built for them. But Italy does, and it's pretty cool. Germany, of course, does, and it's really, really cool. Japan does, and it's very cool too. The Japanese rework was done several versions ago. This version, 13.x, was the Soviet Union rework. And the guys put in a whole bunch of events, a great order of battle, historical order of battle for the Soviets, reworked the existing units on the board and all that kind of stuff, put a lot of work into it. It's a huge country, so that was a huge undertaking for them. But there are other countries I think I would like to see as well get some, pretty cool treatment as well. But not important right now. It can wait. In any event, what I discovered with the Soviets is 20% doesn't do it. Paying 45 IC towards a couple new tanks that you got, today, it's going to take way too long to do it. So I would like to pay it off while I'm still young, and thusly I up it the debt payment to 40% of my base IC, which at this point, because I'm at 226, 40% means I'm paying 90 IC. So, well, of course, just doubled what I was already paying. So if something comes in and it's like 2200 IC to pay it back, then 22 days, a little bit more than that, 23 or 24 days is what it'll take to get it paid back, which is good. That means it'll eventually get paid, or get paid back pretty quickly enough, so that way you're not stacking up your IC debt. Because as you stack IC debt up, I think it starts at, if you have an IC debt of 10,000 that you haven't paid, there's a warning that'll pop up. Be like, hey, be careful. And every 10,000 after that is an alert along with a penalty. So at 20,000, I believe, if I remember correctly, 10,000 is the warning. 20,000 is the alert saying, hey, you're suffering some negative modifiers, and I forget exactly what you're getting hit with. And then 30,000, 40,000, etc. Every 10,000 IC debt that you're not paying back, and you got to, if you use the utility window, you got to pay back at least 20%. But I imagine you could edit your save file and set it to a 0% payback. So that way you're getting free units for almost free. You're still paying resources, just not paying IC. But yeah, I'm sure you get to a point where it's like your country just grinds to a halt because you got all this free stuff, but you're not really paying for it. Anyway, that is where we're at right now. Something I want to do real quick, though, because we're going to be reinforcement. We're going to be seeing a bunch of our IC going towards reinforcements going to our production queue pretty soon here. But I need to get into the resources map mode, and we need to start putting in bunch of factories. Everywhere that I can is going to get up to 7 factories. Unless they already have 7 factories, then they don't need to worry about that. And I play this off, or play this off as like Stalin saying, hey, let's get all our people to work. Let's give them something to do. So, while you could say these are factories, honestly, these are probably more like, you know, these could be offices, buildings. It could be government buildings. Yeah, it could be a whole host of things that count as industrial capacity. Okay, I already got all those kind of going up and down here, and then east to west. Again, pushing everything up to 7, because I feel that's a good number to arrive at. Obviously, if we have a heavy industry in the area, then we shall bump that up even more. Go all the way up to 10, because that's where you definitely get some boogie bonus points that way. But yeah, we need to fill up our build queue with stuff. Let's actually kind of do it like this for right now. Yep, we got Stalingrad, heavy industry. Maxed out though, so we don't need to worry about building anything there. This will also have a good sub effect in that once Barbarossa hits, we will have a lot of industry, or we can sit there and build all the troops that we need. Now, I haven't played all the way through in my solo campaign, so I'm not sure excuse me, if it'll be reflected or not in the game with an event. Excuse me, having to cough so much here. But there is a point where the Soviets started marshaling all their factories out to the east, out to Siberia and stuff like that, away from the German onslaught. Or I should say Axis onslaught, because I mean, you know, Romania, Hungary, to a lesser extent, Bulgaria, and eventually Italy all joined in and helped out. But in any event, I don't know if there's an event that will kind of replicate that in having free industry start appearing in the East. Probably not, I'd have to imagine. If there is not, oops, oh well, won't worry about it. Build an extra one more than I needed. If there is not, I will replicate that myself. By a certain point, say fall, I think it was around fall of 1941 that the Soviets started doing this, I will start pushing a bunch of industry out to the east. Wherever I have industry already kind of set up, I'll be building more industry around it, so it'll be kind of like industrial hubs, as it were. But again, just to replicate the that movement east. Oh, did it there too. Oh well. Movement east of all the Western industry, and it was quite an awesome undertaking as well. The Soviets, they basically packed up the whole entire factory from the walls on down, and put them in trains, sent them all out to Siberia, and the workers as well. And everybody just, that's where they lived, that's where they worked until the war ended. See, there'll be a bunch of factories sitting in the queue. We'll take a look at it. There's something also I'm going to be building, and I'm going to show you in just a moment here. When I was playing through my solo campaign, I was like, oh, there's a ton of revolts happening, and I was like, oh, this is getting rather tiresome here. Having to stomp out all the all the uprisings as they're coming in here. And I found that it's very helpful to build the NKVD troops. Just basically filter them all over the country and just have them, hold down the fort, as it were. See, we need five in IC alone. We have 300, so even if I pushed all IC towards production, there's no way we could handle it. But that's a bunch of industry that we're building. So going to the divisions here, we're going to build the NKVD, which is basically an NKVD unit, which you can see here is just 1,000 men, plus a garrison, so we're talking 3,000 men. The NKVD has a little better, about 20 points more organization. There's not too much to them, quite honestly. Excuse me. But I mean, they do help, beef up some of the overall stats. Where is not supply consumption, suppression. So the NKVD alone give a 13 suppression. There isn't too much. Yeah, there actually is nothing else that does better than NKVDs. Military police, sure, they're pretty good, but they're also a little bit more expensive in terms, or not. Well, in terms of manpower alone. Though they're actually not. I take that back. Yeah, the manpower cost of NKVDs is almost twice what the military police is. But anyway, we're building these guys, and I'm going to be building groups of 10. We're going to be doing it 5 times. Over the next 18 months, we're going to have 50 divisions pouring out. Got to push all these to the forefront because I want these out first. Though they're not going to be worked on until we can get some IC towards production. Which, you know what? We really don't need reinforcements quite as much as they're at right now. Let's get that down to, that's fine. Let's get this down to about right there as well. So, yes, that's enough to build all 10 and start working on industry a little bit. But basically, we're going to be filtering them all over the place where we need to kind of to get them all set up. And here's one right here. I'm going to move him, though. We're going to start moving some of these guys out a little bit, like these NKVDs. The cavalry are going to get pushed out as well. Yeah, the NKVD, I'm just going to push them out to the hinterlands. Yeah, put him there. This armor unit, we'll send him out to there. Actually, yeah, to here. Send that garrison unit there. Let's see here. Another NKVD, push him out to there. Another NKVD, push him out to there. So this garrison unit, yeah, go there. Yep, I'm kind of liking what I'm seeing around here. I know I had done in my playthrough a little bit more overall movement of troops than I'm doing right now. Okay, that's everybody that's there. Yeah, this cav unit, send them out to there. Actually here. Let's see what else we got here. This NKVD, push them up to there. We're being paranoid. We're making sure that our borders are protected. Even though none of, the enemies around us would probably do anything against us, but we want to make sure. Okay. Now this cav unit can come up to here. This mountain unit will come here. This NKVD will go there. Going to do the same here. This garrison unit going to come up here. This guy can come down to there. He's going to go there, and that guy's going to go there. That way, again, protecting the border as much as possible here. And you'll see, once we start going here, there's going to be quite a few uprisings. That's going to be very, very annoying. So that's why I'm moving the troops out that I am in the manner that I am. Plus, want to make sure that our forces are spread out enough that, like here, don't need 2 garrisons here, that we're keeping watch over areas that we can, we have airfields, we have industry, etc., etc., etc. Oh, that's right, there's swamps right here. So don't need to worry about that. Okay. And we're going to move him back around here and pull him backwards a bit. Okay, again, just making sure that we're covering as much as we can here. Because I'd really hate to, lose, not lose, but have my air units getting bumped out of of their air base. So far, so good. I could be doing so much better, of course, but wow, that's a ton of units here. So let's leave these guys here. He's going to go there. He's going to go there. Let's have cavalry unit come out here. Armor unit come out here. Like so. Okay. So garrison come up to there. Spread these guys out. Good enough there. Okay, up here. And I think we're leaving what we got up here. We're not going to really touch this, though. Let's move this guy over here. Do I have a cav unit? Actually, I got 2. Move him out there, and him all the way out there. Kind of feels like punishment, Head out to the the wilds out there. Okay, we're moving him over there like so. I'm gonna leave all that alone. Let's move him up there. Okay, that works there. Here, push him out to the hinterlands. All right, I think I got everything kind of set up how I would like it right now. I don't think it's fully. Yeah, I'm not fully set up here the way I would really like to. Moving him there. Okay. Got this here. So NKVD headquarter detachment. So this one we could send up to there. It's another pure NKVD position there. I don't know what a HQ defense attachment. I thought it was on the bottom. Yeah, division headquarters, suppression. Come on, there. So division headquarters has no suppression. All right, let things kind of rock and roll here. Zoom out some. Hour and a half into this. Exciting stuff. I know, and only a couple days have passed. So yay, we'll go get that, get the espionage bonus. We will go and create a communist militia brigade, sure. We will start off with parliamentary issues. We want to lower the chance for revolt. Which we failed. Actually increased the amount of our revolt there, which that kind of sucks, but oh well, it is what it is. Let's drop this by down to 30, and let's drop this down to 50. There we go. That way we're producing all 10 of these, which we'll need the first batch in April for sure. You will see. Alrighty, here's all of our stuff. Cool. Do you want an easy strat? No, we want normal. So that means we'll be getting our strategic resources. Did it pop in already? Yes. So when we have a chance, we're at 3 chromite. We need at least one more. We have no aluminum. So we want at least one aluminum. And the thing is, yeah. What is it? Every 200 base IC, you need 1 strategic resource. And that's the reason why at rubber, tungsten, nickel, I'm at -2. Moly, I'm at -2. Copper and zinc, I'm at -1, and I can build both copper and zinc. Aluminum chromite and manganese are the other ones I can build. I have 14 manganese. We'll be getting a ton of money through manganese because I will be selling it all whenever it comes up. But we do need to build at least a couple chromite. I have 3 chromite right now. I need at least a couple more because we're going to get to at least 500 base IC before mid-1940. We're going to be building aluminum as well to help our air units out. We're going to be building copper and zinc as well, because they're in the negatives right now, -1 each. And it starts. 11 days. It starts already. And I don't have anybody nearby this guy here. Him, I suppose. So let's go ahead and just march him on down. Fortunately, they don't really they don't move too much. So long as you react and you have somebody going towards them. You see, the militia's already settled down. Yay, reinforcements are getting under control. We're doing okay in supplies. Pretty soon we can adjust that a little bit as well. Granted, there's more that I can do in here as far as laws go. It'd be nice to get to full mobilization when we're able to. Right now, it's just a matter of neutrality. Neutrality gets below 75. Our neutrality is 99. It's going to take a little while. But once we're able to, we shall do so. Enjoy this 96%, because it's not going to be sitting there for much longer. All right, prohibit the establishment of new parties. We're going to... So, I think here, if we say not a day too early, if we say it seems a bit extreme, we'll gain popularity, but we're going to lose organization, which I think long-term hurts us. Sure, we're going to gain dissent, but we'll gain some leadership and also some popularity. So we say, yeah, we don't want any more. We don't want any other people running against us. No one's going to run against us. We won't have any elections. It's one thing I like about playing the Soviet Union is you don't have to worry about elections at all. All right, so we got that done up the way we want. We're building our industry. We've got a couple coming up in September. We'll actually have a couple more coming in September as well. Because we got 31 here, leaves 30 production. So that's 5 industry that we'll be working on. We'll be ready in September. So our IC bases can go up by 5. Small caliber tank cannon and machine guns have been stolen. We don't really care. Republic of China wants our crude oil. We say, sure, give us your $13. That's not going to last too long. Let's get our reinforcements back up again. There we go. Let's check our technology real quick. So let's get this up to 34. There we are. Actually, let's get up to 35 still. Yeah, let's keep it at 35. I thought we had gotten a bonus to leadership. We must have had something else that affected us as well. And boom, here's all of our... I already see it on the utility window, so I already know what's what, but yeah, because of where we are with our IC base, or every multiple of 200, you need at least one resource. So we do have one. So we do have at least one zinc. Since we don't have any rubber at all, it's a -2 hit because we're at 226. So 0 to 200, you need at least one. Or at least, I'm sorry, 0 to 199, you need at least one. 200 to 299, you need 2. So we're in the 200 to 299, we need 2 of something. We only have 1 zinc, so yeah, we're suffering some shortages. But you see, it's not really affecting us. 500 energy per day, 140 metals, 40 rares. Even oil's not doing all that bad. I mean, it's like, whoa. Tungsten, rubber, we won't need any of those for right now. Nickel as well, we won't need any of those. Moly, we won't need that as well. It'd be nice to get moly. And in fact, once we start building our tanks, we'll have so much money. I'm going to go ahead and buy up all the moly that I can to improve my armor build time. But we're not going to worry about it right now. Manganese, level 4 is the best you can get, even though I have 14 manganese total available to me. So we can sell 10 to maintain this benefit here. So the moly and manganese cancel each other out in regards to the armor build time. But we still have a negative to rares. Oh, we have a positive to metal there. Copper shortage, yeah, we need to improve that. Chromite, we have a 2% efficiency. Per routine, pretty nice. Metal for money, sure. Let's get this arranged down to 10. And consumer goods needs a little bit of 11 here. Another thing, I am not worried about this. It can stay yellow. I don't care. Yeah, we will work on it, but for right now, I don't care. Time pair budget, sure. Yes, upgrade motorized, amphibious, sure. Sure. We're going with rocket artillery. Rocket artillery. That'll be our main one. Armor car, yes. Upgrade. We'll go rocket artillery. Rocket artillery be the main one. Police buildings. We'll send security police later. But for the first event, I always pick police buildings. We could do appease them. That would kind of help us out a little bit. But yeah, the police buildings for right now. 0% IC efficiency. Nice, nice. Another new guy. Italian battleship. Or not battleship, but Italian. Italian battleship. Came about. Let's go ahead and move in there and then up there like so. Okay. See why I spread all those guys out? There's going to be black marks all over the Soviet Union map as time goes on. NKVD buildings. We'll get a good dozen or more police centers. Yes. Rocket artillery. If you guys aren't tired of me saying rocket artillery, yeah, that's what we're going for, Soviet Union. Yep. Reinforcements kind of fluctuate back and forth a little bit there. That's fine. We'll be addressing this from time to time here. I'm going to lower my upgrades a bit more. We want our IC built a little bit quicker, so let's just set that down to 40 and be happy with it. Let's set the consumer goods. There we go. Again, well, actually, let's bump it up by 1. There. I don't care if it's yellow. February. Is it every month, maybe? Is it every month that we get gold? I don't know. Another Italian battleship. And offer from Germany. They want us to buy fuel. We don't need to. So, first things first. War games offer. Do we want to do that first? Or do we want to handle... I think I need the chromite. I probably need the chromite first. Yeah, let's handle the chromite. Money, easy come, easy go. Further expand the collective. The collective, always picking the collective is superior. That's what we're going with as far as the Soviet Union is concerned. We'll lose manpower, supplies, money, but we gain 3 IC. When I did this my solo game, didn't really affect me as far as manpower went terribly much. This is going to bring us under 10,000, but it does certainly help in regards to the industry. 3 IC right now, really helpful. 3 base IC, very helpful at this point. Yes, we want to upgrade. Let things go. I don't think we're ready for... Yeah, we're not ready for the one yet. Political feuds. Ridiculous. Silliness. Find whoever is spreading those vile lies and off them. Okay, we're going to move him there, and once he's done, we're going to send him out to here, the middle. Do I have anywhere else that has too many, like this NKVD guy? Send him out to there. Is there anywhere else that I've got stacks of troops? Got an armor unit we can push out to there. No, nothing there. No, nothing there. Yes. So let's send him up to here. This armor unit can push back a little bit. This guy can certainly come out. I'll probably be checking as well from time to time just to make sure. That we're arrayed appropriately, that we, there, I'll move him back there. That our forces are set up well enough here. Let's send him up to there. Like I said, I'm not going to really touch him here. However, yeah. Yep, not going to touch him anymore. All right. And it goes on and on. It was getting to the point where while I was playing, I was every single time somebody came up with a message, I forget what I was saying exactly, but I was calling it something. The Black Death. It was like the Black Death has returned. Let's save her here. Because I have it set to monthly autosaves. Just to be as cautious as possible. I don't want, for example, 3 months or even 6 months of early game to go by and the game crashes and boom, I've lost all that work. Because I discovered from some of my games, Japanese campaign and otherwise, that sometimes those kind of crashes, you'll have had an event that'll pop up and it just won't pop up again for whatever reason. That the triggers, for some reason, the triggers get messed up or something like that. So I want to try to avoid crashes as much as possible. Looking good, looking good. It's the first 6 months or so, nothing much to this. Yep, we'll pay this time. Rocket. Hey, look, my rocket artillery. Forming the long-range air command. We will go ahead and do this. I'm going to check my IC days. I don't think this actually spawns anything, but so where in Germany, when you're playing Germany, the country, you have the option of doing the full-on separate Luftwaffe command, and it's really cool how that gets all broken out. The Soviet Union kind of has their own, but it seems like the air is more or less attached to Army commands. But here, at least, it looks like yes, we will be getting a couple of Army commands if you read throughout here. And then, come 1942, we will be getting a whole bunch of air armies. So, looking forward to that. But we'll go ahead and take, like I said, historical, everything we will take. And let's see, here's me. I need to move out to here. Didn't I have a leader? Oh, thought I had a leader come up as well. Oh, this guy needs to go out to Kaluga. Thought I had a military leader that appeared for me. Because remember me saying something to the effect of, well, for the first time we see it appear, we'll take the standard army leader type, and the second time it'll be a guard. So somehow I think I lost that army leader. Oh well, moot point, not a big deal. Won't really worry about it. All right, so here's that Air Force command, if you will. Who is? Let me attach him. Kharkov is the nearest in the area there, and you can see has. Oh, I can't grab all those guys. But if we do it like this, I can see. Yep. And no. So for 6 air, and these are all medium bombers, right? Oh, heavy bombers. Okay. Oh, some of them are like way over there. No IC debt. Interesting. All right, let's trade out that manganese. Yes, heavy armor. Sloped armor. Somebody stole. Oh. Okay, the next 2,000 we're going to spend here. Let's do zinc. And there's nobody nearby. I mean, realistically, there's nobody nearby. I'm going to send him in. You'd think I would learn where some of these some of these places are playing this game, and I probably will. Probably over time, I'll be, especially when one the Polish War kicks off. I'll be learning some of the eastern parts of Poland. Their territories. When the Winter War for Finland kicks off, the southern area, I'll definitely be learning a lot of those areas. And some of them already know Viperi. Viperi. That's pretty historical. A lot of combat went on there. I will say, the the Winter War is very properly modeled in my solo campaign. Once it kicked off in December something, I forget exactly when. Um, it was a hard slog. The Finns kicked me out of a couple of areas around here. It pushed me back, and here they attacked and attacked, but they weren't able to break through. Here I attacked, and I must have spent something like 50,000, 70,000 troops total in both of these two provinces before, months later, it was about late February, beginning March, before I finally broke through into here. And then we rampaged up, I think it was early May 4th or something like that, when I had taken this line, the Viperi, and then I had moved over, some armor units over this way. I was going to do like a big encirclement and cut off everybody here and crush them, when all of a sudden, boom, the event popped saying Finland gives up. What do you want to do? And you have an option of either taking what you had demanded from Finland to begin with, or you can continue the war. I said, I just went the historical route, that's what I'm going to do in this game too. Just give me what we wanted, what we asked for to begin with. What we asked so nicely for, but you said no. Playing as Japan, I saw plenty of opportunities, at least 3 or 4 times, where Japan could declare war on the Soviet Union. And I remember asking, at least I'm pretty sure I asked in that campaign, I wonder how it is on the Soviet side. Well, now I know. March of 1936, we can go war with Japan. But no, we're just going to go historical. You can pause to read the specifics here. This is, I think, it's almost, I think it's almost word for word what's on the Japanese event. Maybe this might be more flavor texted towards the Soviet Union. But yeah, we're going to take a step back. We're going to save the game. I know it was just saved a little while ago, but okay, this is in the middle of nowhere, as I was worried about. We're going to go ahead and march them up there like so. So these are just... There we go. I'm trying to set up a defensive line as much as we possibly can, but obviously we can't fully do it. But that's right. Onward. Oh, I can. Just as I was about to stop something. So another guy popped up. Ugh. So we're going to go here and then here, because I don't have anybody up here. Yeah, we're going to just stay where we're at right there. Yeah. You can see why I need lots of NKVD troops, because there's tons of open space all over here. In late 1940, we're going to well, I should take it back. We're going to do some reorganization as time goes on. One of the first bits of reorganization we're going to do is all 50 of the NKVD. We're going to assign them leaders and then build up their hierarchy appropriately. Existing NKVD are going to probably look at pulling them off of their leadership hierarchy and putting them into the new not sure what to call it, but the NKVD headquarter hierarchy. There'll be an ultimate, not a theater command, but a headquarter unit below that that'll be handling all that kind of stuff. another blanket. If you sense frustration when you hear me talk, you can certainly see why. So let's go here and then there. This gets kind of tiresome. All right, so now we're going to do copper. See, it's a good thing we're making money. About $30 a day, almost. Second London Naval Treaty. We're going to go ahead and sign the treaty. There's no reason for us to not sign the treaty. We're not building ships. When I play Japan, of course, I don't sign the treaty, typically. I think... Anyway, it's not a big deal as Japan to say, I don't sign the treaty. In fact, you can kind of role play it because you want to build, larger ships and stuff like that. But as Russia, Soviet Union, I don't care. We'll go ahead and gain some unity, lose some of that dissent. I think we'll get into April here, and then I'll have to end the episode, or it will be about 2 hours there. Yep, let's export again. Boom. And guess what we're going to do this time now? We're going to do aluminum, because we will need it. When we make some more money, we'll do the war games, and we'll postpone the mine expansion. We don't need to do that. So we lost the effects of high press. So let's go to tech real quick here. Let's drop this down to 30. Yeah, drop this down to 30. That's because it's a nicer round number than say 31 exactly. And we still want some officers coming in. 6 per day. 6 officers per day. Now, remember, we were at 100%, I think, at the beginning of the game, which I think most countries are anyway. Here we are, 4 months in. January, February, March. Yeah, and we're into April. We're at 153,000 officers. 96%. So good, right? So good. Remember these good days. We don't need to buy fuel. Oh, I need to... There we go. That we can see any events that pop in, whether they affect us or not. Here's some gold. And we got to wait another couple days here. There we go. So we're going to postpone our mine expansion plans. We'll do that for 3 months, because 3 months from now, I think, will be the first one coming back. And you see, we're getting gold every single month. War Games offer, we're going to take into play here. Yes, the officer recruitment is very nice right now, and the ruling party support definitely very, very good. And there'll be some side effects as well that'll be popping in later on. And again, the Black Death has returned. Oh, we were moving there anyway. Okay. Hungary wants us to buy fuel. We don't need to. Let's export manganese. Now, other than our mines, building up our mines, there's very little our money is going to be used for, so we'll be having to deal with it. Here's our first round of NKVD. So our supplies, let's push that to there. Let's get our upgrades down to 0. Yeah, let's do that. Let's get the first round of NKVD out. Here in the central area, we seem to be having some problems, so let's start filtering in. We want sufficient around in the area here. So that, well, it's not quite, a steel belt or anything like that around. Places that dissidents could rise up at. we do want to make sure, there we go, that we have sufficient an area that if something happens there, for example, we're not, the NKVD is not going to move too far. They don't have to worry about running around all over the place. I think let's move them there, attack. Could probably move the infantry, be better probably, but it's just the headquarter unit is right there, and we'll push them away. All right. So let's go ahead and let's loosen that. Okay, so our reinforcements were okay. Cool. We'll knock this down to 50. 48. That's what I meant to say. We're building 10 more of our NKVD right now. Nice. Now we can push this down a bit further to about 7. And that means the next round of NKVD comes in August. Not sure we'll place those. We did this central area here. Probably do like the next 10. Probably behoove me to start in the east and work my way westward. I think that's what I did last time. As I started the east where we had next to none, and then moved our way westward. But the central seemed to be where a lot of the dissidents were popping in at, so I wanted to take care of that ASAP here. Auto saving. I hate when you freeze like that for a long time. Okay, our first of our units that we're getting created here. Form the 5th Separate Heavy Tank Brigade. You can read the specifics on it here. Those are some old-ass tanks, aren't they? Wow. Multiple turrets all over the place. And you can see in the specifics here, summer 1941, 90% of these tanks were lost due to mechanical breakdowns, lack of maintenance, fuel, and often sabotaged by their crews, abandoning them. A few surviving vehicles were recorded during the Battle of Moscow during the winter of 41-42. We will do so. We lose without supplies, not a big deal. That gets us that unit. This affects the United States, Canada, and Mexico, not us. We're going to expand our mines, which means we're going to get a bunch of cool freebie mines popping in here. You're coming down here, and then you're going to go up to there. So let's continue here, go there, and then back. What do you guys want? Made by field? No. Let's check here. This is the heavy tank brigade that popped in. I'm going to move them up to there. I'm going to move this guy out to here. Okay. Yeah, and all these NKVD divisions, I need to assign leaders to them. Like I said, I need to build the hierarchy up. We'll worry about that a couple years down the road, probably early 1939 maybe. Oh, duh. Let's get to here. This is so much fun. This will take a couple minutes to set up properly. You can see you're up to 229 base IC. Good. That's going to get better and better and better. All right. Let's take a look at our economy. Let's arrange by metal first. Kursk. And yes, we can stick in pretty much all the metal that's there. Alrighty, Coalfield, Energy. Zelenoye. If I butcher any of these names, I do apologize for anybody that lives in those countries. Not intended. My pronunciations are poor enough as it is, and I'm also hamstrung by the fact that I'm an American. So, Novobrizsk, Novobrizsk. No, okay, Novosibirsk. This is getting Coalfield, and now for the rares, rare materials. This one always gets me. Is that Perm? P-E-R-M? Yes, Perm. Okay. It just looks weird. We can stick all the rares in here. And this is why in my solo game, I was not concerned at all with resources. I didn't need to trade for, and I was happy to trade away all my resources. I was also very happy to build up all my IC because I had more than enough resources to deal with it. You can see we're already maxed out energy. We'll get there eventually with the metals and rares, but alrighty. Well, let's see. Jeez. Let's do that and then come back. Good grief. 3 pockets. So this area definitely needs a whole bunch of NKVD set up in when we get to it. Oh no, 50 cents. We're not getting any more from China. Let's go ahead and just march them up there like so. I'll move him out like so. Dun, 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 agent, join the think tank. Dun, dun, and challenge intelligence in Japan will increase, so yay. I know it says in Japan, but realistically speaking, it's, you know, an overall. You can see, actually, the United States are doing pretty dang good in. We have 1 spy alive in there. And we can see what they're building. Everything that I would expect. I mean, I'm glad to see it. Very glad to see it. Germany. So they have a couple of motorized, a couple infantry, a couple fighters. And I outproduce them as well. So long as my IC beats their IC, I'm okay with that. Japan. So they're building a couple of those light infantry, specialized light infantry units. Fighter bomber and convoy. Not too concerned about them. Finland, they're not producing anything, which that's odd. I don't believe that. I mean, they have 1 spy, but I don't believe that. Manchuria, there's Poland. Republic of China says they're producing nothing. Then again, our spies are getting killed off left and right. Bulgaria, Romania, Estonia. France is building a destroyer. United States, UK, a couple light cruisers, a couple convoys, and escort. That's one thing we don't need to worry about. It's convoys and escorts. We got 113 convoys, 2 escorts. We're not really. I mean, yes, we are shipping stuff around. Petro to Commodore. I'm not sure where that even is. Well, over here. No? No. Huh. Up to here? No, that's Murmex. That's there. Petro, Pav. Let's look this up. No. Petro, Pav. So here, they're shipping to Commodore, blah, blah. Why? Can we not stop this? We don't need to. Cancel convoy. Ulia to Bolshoi. So from here, to where now? BOLSHOY. And another one we don't need. I mean, nothing's being shipped anyway, but let's cancel those. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, let's leave that alone. Okay. So yeah, we don't need those being done. Oh yay, some more money coming in. At some point, I think I get the option to improve our gold mines, and I did in the solo game. I did it once because my thinking was I think it costs like 3,000 gold, I think, or something like that, to kick it off and to get it built, or maybe it was 4,500, and it was just for an improvement of 100 gold. But then I was thinking, you know what? For a period of time that we're going to have this gold mine for, it's going to be worth it, you know, doing it early enough. Abyssinia Falls, would expect at this point here, and something I may not expect is me pausing and stopping the video. Wow, we're well over 2 hours. We're only into May, so we're halfway through 1936. We'll get there, guys. I did spend quite a bit of time explaining what all I'm doing and everything, so yeah, there is that. The the next mission, or next episode coming up, will be hopefully a little bit quicker in regards to what we're doing. The cadence is going to be pretty quick to begin with. 36, 37, 38. There's really not too much going on. You know, we're dealing with stamping out all these little rebel pop-ups here and there. So no big deal in that regards. The game for Soviet Union really kicks up come mid towards late 39, especially when you're going to go war against Poland. Germany, of course, you get Austria, you get Czechoslovakia. There's a whole bunch of events popping in left and right. You're dealing with your IC debt, fluctuating so much because you have a bunch of units coming in all the time. Soviet Union, there's a bunch of units coming in, yes, but at the beginning part, and again, I've only gotten through to May, almost June of 1940 in my solo game. There's not a lot of, comparatively to Germany, there's not a lot of freebie units that pop in. I imagine they start popping off left and right come 1941, though. In any event, I do appreciate you guys watching. I will see you next episode. Guys, have a great day. Bye.